Harry Carey back in the ballpark. Eric Anthony leading off. 1 ball, no strikes. He started a swing, tried to check one around, and the count is evened up. Well, I got a lot of literature from Warrendale. There's a ground ball right to Grace. Easy out. 1 gone. 4 in a row. Retired by Maddux. Boy, oh boy. Here's Ken Caminiti. Boy, what a disaster it would be to lose Maddux. Probably the best pitcher in all of baseball, and only 26 years old. You can build a pitching staff around him. 1 out. Pitch swung and missed. Strike 2. If they lose Maddux, they better go out and get about 4 or 5 guys. They're going to cost them a heck of a lot. Good, almost as much money as Maddux is going to cost them.
What he gives you, Harry, not only does he give you the wins, which you'd expect from a great pitcher, but he takes the ball every 5th day, doesn't complain, throws 230, 40 innings every year, and picks up 35, 36 starts. There's not a lot of guys that can do that on a consistent basis.
Yeah, no, moreover than that, too. Here's a pitch outside. I honestly believe that he and his lovely wife really love Chicago. They know how well they are liked here. And I know they love the city and they love the fans. Swung, and he struck him out. Caminiti, who's been a hot hitter.
See, there's an example of a changeup. Maddux throws a fastball 88, 87 miles an hour. This one timed at 81 miles an hour, and so it's not necessarily the location, but it's just the change of velocity that fools Caminiti. He's well out in front of this one, has no chance. And what makes it a great pitch is that the hitter can't pick up any change in the motion by Maddux. That's why it's so deceptive.
You know, and you made the point yesterday about Bullinger. Here's a pitch, a line drive, center field, base hit for Gonzalez. Boy, he had 4 out of 5 yesterday. That gives him 8 out of 13 in the series. A red-hot hitter. How about how his curveball was almost, or slider was the same speed as his fastball, so it didn't deceive the hitter.
Well, he was throwing his curveball yesterday at 74, which I think is maybe a little too hard, Harry, because then you have to throw a perfect curveball to get people out. If you get it down in the high 60s, you can get away with a location that's not as good as some of the others, because there'll be, maybe 14, 15 miles an hour variance between the fastball and the curveball. At 74, if a curveball hangs at all or stays over the middle of the plate, a guy's looking for it, because Bullinger's sinker was in about the 85, 84 range, and not that much of a disparity between the 2 pitches.
That's the value of the change. The hitter expects a fastball. Here's a ground ball. Bouchel over to first, easy out. Kendall bounces out. 1 hit, 1 left. We go in the bottom of the 2nd. Cubs lead 1-0.
If you're washing half a load, you're wasting electricity, because it takes about as much for a washer to do a half load as a full one. So save money. When you wash, wash full loads. Just a thought. For a few more, call us.
It's the first week of spring training, and a bunch of nice old ladies show up.
Say cheese. Wonderful.
Nice, till we started working out.
You call that exercising?
Hey, Grandma, I don't see you doing it.
We finished?
In your dreams, homeboy.
Finally. Cold buds for everybody.
Attaboy.
We're on the road with the first ever Toyotathon summer clearance. With thousands of deals at Toyota dealers everywhere. Even clearance deals on the sporty Celica.
And now get up to $1,500 in option package savings.
And with huge factory-to-dealer incentives, that adds up to a lot of Toyotathon savings. With these clearance deals, we're going to set a new Toyotathon record.
Get in on Toyotathon summer clearance now.
Because you can't beat the savings.
For as long as there have been neighbors, there have been neighborhoods. And with them came a tradition of people relying on one another. And along with the post office and the grocer, many rely on their neighborhood 76 station for quality gasolines, the same quality the winning drivers in NASCAR depend on us to provide. And how could we do anything less for our neighbors? 76, go with the spirit.
Get in on the ultimate squeeze play. Get a Cubs squeeze bottle only at 76.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, your for kids' sake station.
Harry Carey and Steve Stone as we go in the bottom of the second. Leading off will be Steve Buechele. There's an enterprising, an entrepreneur waiting for business.
Things are a little slow today, but they'll pick up.
Nobody on, nobody out. Well, I can think back to my youthful days. It was newspapers I had to sell. We never heard of lemonade.
Wasn't it hard with all those covered wagons coming by to keep your concentration?
Yeah. All right. How old are you now? Yeah. You're getting close to 50, right?
Yeah, just turned 45.
Life ends at 50. 2 balls, no strikes. Buechele in there that time. Pittsburgh leads Atlanta 1-0 at the end of 4. Family day here at Wrigley Field. Every day is family day. Whoa, almost hit him. 3 balls and the strike. Another crowd of in excess of 30,000. The Cubs are already over 1,611,000. Here's Buechele popping up. Biggio is there, makes the catch. 1 out.
Hey, Cub fans, the 1992 Cubs gift catalog is now available and features over 150 great Cubs gift ideas. To receive your free Cubs gift catalog, call 1-800-248-9467 during regular business hours. That's 1-800-248-9467.
Here's Ray Sanchez after missing a couple of games with a bad back. He pinch hit yesterday. There's a good smash. Great stop and no play. Base hit. He got a base hit as a pinch hitter yesterday, and he gets a base hit here today. And I notice he's feeling the back of his leg. I hope it didn't hurt him. So
Candell makes a very good play up the middle. This ball gets by Williams, and then Candell left to try to keep it in the infield. He does that, but he cannot get up in time, and that's a veteran shortstop. A youngster would have probably gotten up and tried to make this throw, and the only thing that could happen was you'd throw it away. But Candell just holds on to it, and Sanchez has a base hit.
1 out, 1 on. Here's Maddux. He bunts. The only play will have to be to first base. And Bagwell would have had a play at second, but he fumbled the ball. And so it's a sacrifice for Maddux.
For Greg Maddux, that's sacrifice number 5. And the Cubs have the second run of the game in scoring position.
There is Greg Maddux's good-looking wife.
That's Kathy Maddux. The one on the left in the red.
2 men are out. The runner in scoring position. And here's Doug DeCenzo. He's 4 out of 13 in the series. Hitting .258 for the year. Bounced out in his first trip to Biggio. Over the inside corner, a strike call. Pittsburgh leads Atlanta 1-0 at the end of 4. High fly ball, easy out. Finley in center field makes the catch. So 1 hit, 1 left, no run. At the end of 2, the Cubs lead 1-0.
Cubs fans, with the construction on the Kennedy and the roadwork on Clark Street, now more than ever it pays to ride the CTA. All trains stop at the Addison Street station and buses stop right outside the Wrigley Field gates. And with the parking restrictions on night games, the CTA shuttle bus from Lane Tech High School is the perfect answer. For schedule and route information, call 312-836-7000. Don't spend the first 3 innings stuck in traffic. Ride the CTA.
Hey, no more questions about Bo's hip, okay? No more questions about football, baseball, advertising. Shut up! You thought it was over? Wrong! It ain't over till the hip socket sinks, okay? So Bo's got a bum hip, so what? Look what he's doing with that hip. He's hitting the bike, he's hitting the weights, he's wearing the shoes. As a matter of fact, he's in the pool, wearing the shoes, riding the bike with 120 pounds of weight strapped to his neck, okay? And what are you and your good hip doing right now? Watching commercials! I think you hear me knocking, and I think I'm coming in, and I'm bringing Bo and his big bad hip with me.
It's Buick's model year-end clearance, the sale you've been waiting for. With big 3.9% GMAC financing that could save you real money every month because it's 3.9% financing for up to a full 48 months. And it's on every Buick in stock, like the highly acclaimed Buick Park Avenue, rated best overall American car value. Or get big factory cash back, up to $2,000. Hurry to Buick's year-end clearance. See your better Buick dealer today.
Get ready for Supermodel of the World 1992. Watch the passion, fame, and fever of competition. It's a world of beauty.
Tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is United. Chicago's hometown airline is proud to be the official airline of the Chicago Cubs.
Tomlinson leading off, bounces to Buechele, who makes a fine play and throws him out. How about that sign for a good time? And they put up the ticket number for the Chicago Cubs. 1 out. And here is Brian Williams, the pitcher.
He's not a bad hitter, so Maddux can't take him for granted.
He's had 3 out of 19 for the year. That's pretty good for a pitcher. 1 out. There's a strike call. Toronto and Cleveland tied up 2-2. There's a line drive right to Grace. Williams did hit the ball hard right at Mark Grace, 2 away. 1-0 in favor of the Cubs and Greg Maddux.
Maddux keeping the ball down, keeping most everything in the infield. He's gotten 5 ground balls already. And he's fanned 1, so he is rolling right along today in search of victory number 15.
2 men are out. Biggio bounced out his first time up. There's a pitch in there, a strike call. 2 men are out, nobody on. 1-0 Cubs. Derek May drove in the only run of the ball game. Pop up on the infield. Sanchez calling for it. 2 retire the side. 1, 2, 3. Going to bottom of the 3rd. Cubs out in front. 1-0.
On your marks. Set.
The Bud Summer Games. It could be the experience of a lifetime.
Not many things are more Chicago than United. But there are a few. United. Proud to fly more Chicagoans than any other airline. Come fly the friendly skies.
All over Chicagoland, it's the same number.
923-7676. Call me.
Going to the comedy club.
I hope you get a good seat. It was an inspired idea.
So, who's going to be here anyway?
Yeah, Greg, did you call?
Why bother? This place always has the funniest guys.
Take my dog, please. If you're going to take my dog,
It's going to get better.
That's the deal.
Not tonight.
Oh, what is this, an audience or an oil painting? I know you're out there. I can hear you breathing. But seriously, folks.
The Bud Summer Games. It could be the experience of a lifetime.
Cub fans, subscribe to Vineline, the official newspaper of the Cubs, and get a limited edition collector's print of the 28 greatest Cub players of all time. For subscription information, call 312-404-CUBS. That's 312-404-CUBS.
Harry Carey with Steve Stone, and Tom Brenneman will be along at the end of this half inning. Here is Sandberg to lead it off. He walked his first time up, scored the only run.
You know, Harry, I don't think it's just a coincidence, but the current Cub slump started when Sammy Sosa went down with a broken foot, because they were rolling right along against the Mets. They started off this homestand 4 straight wins. It looked like it was going to be a great homestand, and then Sammy broke his foot, and there went the speed of the Cubs.
1 ball, 1 strike, no doubt about it. Fouls it back. You know, it's tough to talk about fellas being hurt and out of the lineup. You don't have to be a genius to know that although Sanchez and Vizcaíno are good shortstops, that they're nowhere near in the class of Sean Dunston. And without needing to deprecate the ability of Doug Vicenzo, I think he's a great guy to have on a ball club and to play in certain spots and to pinch run and pinch hit. But he doesn't have the electrifying effect of a Sammy Sosa. So it's not alibying, it's just telling it like it really is. You can't lose key men, especially when you're not a super team. The Cubs probably doing exactly what everybody thought they would be doing. Close to 500, but only close.
I think they also stayed afloat a long time in the pennant race, Harry, because the division was down, and with Sosa back in the lineup, the team took on a new character. They took on a more aggressive stance throughout the lineup because Sammy was providing some fireworks at the top, hitting a long ball on occasion, stealing a base. Without his presence, it becomes a very difficult task to score runs consistently.
Here's a ground ball. Hey, he's going to beat it out. Bagwell had started for the ball, realized that Biggio would have it. Then Biggio had a little trouble throwing the ball, and Sandberg, who really hustles all out, beats it out for a hit.
7th error of the year for Biggio. Right here is where he picks up the air. He can't get the ground ball cleanly. And Sandberg, taking nothing for granted, hustling down the line all the way on what looked like a routine play, is able to beat the play at first.
And so Sandberg is on. Nobody out. Sandberg. Let's pause here for station identification.
This is WGN-TV Chicago, America's #1 sports station.
Sandberg with 12 stolen bases. Sammy Sosa's been out forever, it seems like. He leads the team with 15. That'll give you an idea about his speed. When he gets on base, things can happen.
Well, here's the difference, Harry. Sosa played in a total of 67 games, and that's probably what he'll play in this year. The Cubs playing now in their 118th game. And so Sosa, in the limited time that he was around, did give him some speed. A lot of speed.
1 ball, no strikes. Sandberg, a lead at first. And the pitch is outside. But, you know, getting away from Maddux for a moment, now you come to Dawson. Who in the world are you going to play in right field if you don't have Dawson?
Becomes a question of dollars, Harry, and the money you're either going to save or expend. If you don't sign Maddux and Dawson, along with the money you saved from George Bell, now you have a lot of money to go out and get an outfielder, and there will be some good ones in the free agent market.
Here's a pitch outside, ball 3. Well, if you can't satisfy Greg Maddux with the money you're talking about, how in the world are you going to satisfy Barry Bonds and get him to sign with you?
Don't necessarily have to go after Barry Bonds. There's a lot of other good ones out there.
Like who?
Ruben Sierra's got some talent.
Ball 4. Grace draws a base on ball.
Obviously, Barry Bonds is the #1 free agent outfielder, but Kirby Puckett is not too shabby. He's a free agent, as is Ruben Sierra, and there'll be more guys that are going to file for free agency, so there'll be a lot of them available. I would say that you'll have a choice of about 25 quality free agents to pick from this year.
Runners are safe at first and second and nobody out. Sandberg reached on an error. Grace on a walk. There's a strike call to Andre Dawson. He walked his first time up. Boy, I tell you, this is no time to own a ball club.
Very difficult thing.
1 strike and nothing.
Especially with payrolls between 40 and 45 million with a few different teams.
And just because you're paying them big money, here's a high foul ball out of play. Just because they're making big money doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have a good year. A lot. Look at the Mets.
Look at the Dodgers.
Look at the Dodgers. They're second to the Mets in payroll. How about this guy in Miami? The blockbuster guy.
Wayne
Paid $95 million for a franchise for nothing except the franchise. Hasn't even got a ball player yet. And he thinks he's going to have the whole state of Florida, and he may have to divide the state with another team that's established, been in the major leagues forever, the Giants. Dawson tried to check his swing, but he went around. 1 out.
That was a hard-breaking slider, and he fooled Dawson. Well, it looks like, Harry, he might have to divide the state, but he might not only divide the state in 2, maybe in 3, if the American League decides to take Orlando, if they allow the Giants to move to St. Pete. So there's some room down in Florida, but it could get awfully crowded very quickly.
Oh, boy. Here's Derek May, and the pitch is low.
So what you're saying is you're going to scrap your idea to buy a baseball team? Is that it?
Did you see what that Huizinga sold 2 million shares of blockbuster stock in order to help pay for the franchise? There's a line drive, but right at Gonzalez. Boy, Derek May hit the ball hard, but right at him. And that Gonzalez has made some fine plays in the series. 2 out. But I would just think, oh, I would think there's a heck of a court case might come up. If that guy really wants to resist the move to St. Petersburg, he thought he had the state. That's why he named them the Florida Marlins.
Well, there's a California Angels area, and they don't have the state to themselves. So I don't think that that's what Mr. Huizinga has in mind. I think he wants to let Dave Dombrowski build a pretty good club and then let the chips fall where they may as far as the state's concerned.
All I'm pointing out, though, is kind of unfair to them gentlemen, and I don't even know them. But it seems to me inequitable that you think you're the only team in Florida. Now it turns out they might be 2 or 3. It's certainly going to hurt their television coverage, their television network. That's a cinch. And everybody knows the money from television helps support a ball club pretty well. Oh, well, I'm just happy I don't own a ball club. 1 ball, no strikes. And the power of the players' union is such, the power of the umpires' union is such, baseball isn't what it used to be, believe me. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on, 2 out. Rick Wilkins hit the ball hard his first time up. But out. Takes it high. Rick Fuse, the scoreboard operator. He's Mr. Speedy on that board. 2 balls and the strike. Fouled it out of play. You know, I think it's John Smoltz for Atlanta going for his 15th win, and Doug Drabick for Pittsburgh. And the Pirates are leading 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. That's the first game in that series that Atlanta hasn't had a big first inning. They've won the first 2 games. There's a drive foul into the stand. Nice crowd on hand, 30 plus. Well, I got a kick out of the fact that Gary Sheffield says Terry Pendleton ought to be the MVP this year. And Terry Pendleton returns the compliment. He said, I'd vote for Gary Sheffield. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled it out of play.
Harry, we've seen MVPs come from last place clubs, i.e. Andre Dawson in 1987, Ernie Banks for the Cubs a couple of times. And I would think that although the Padres are not going to finish last, if Gary Sheffield's numbers continue where they're at, you have got to vote him the MVP this year, because the kind of year that he's putting together might come along once in a generation.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Left-hand hitter waiting. 1-0 Cubs is the score. Brian Williams wants to talk to his catcher, Ed Taubensee. Don't they know that's not polite to turn your back to the umpire and the hitter? knowing the lip-reading tendencies, Brian Williams is smart enough to turn his back while he talked to the catcher.
St. Louis leading Montreal, and that's a big one for the Expos. They missed an opportunity to close within a half a game of Pittsburgh by losing yesterday.
2-2 pitch. Struck him out on a changeup. Taubensee will have to throw him out, and does. So 2 men are left on base. Harry Carey from Wrigley Field, where at the end of 3, the Cubs are leading 1-0.